Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. We're good. All right. It's we're on time. Okay. I apologize about earlier, but I was looking forward to getting on the lives. Second time's a charm. Actually, between before and now, I actually looked into some more stuff with the market. Let me share my screen here. Here we go. Let's go back into the SPY. All right. So we've been talking about 460 longer term. That's where we want to get into to start really making a bullish case. Until then, we are very well still in this, as I said earlier, slight triangle pattern here. And, first obstacle would be breaking above 450. Maybe we get to 460, but overall, welcome back. 460 to really make a bullish case. We break down below 440. We may very well revisit, this lower trend line that I have here, or possibly that 427, 430 area that we weren't too far from before. So yes, what I also wanted to kind of go over, I didn't speak about this 45 minutes ago, is NU and DWAP. PWAC. Thank you. If you stay kind of fixed on a short-sided type of or short term, I said we got this triangle. Last week we were saying we see this double top, but in the grand scheme of things, you just zoom out and know some patterns. John Jarrett, what's up? Mayor, Affirm. Let's get into it. Firm. What I saw was a head and shoulders kind of forming. If you don't know what head and shoulders, it's a shampoo, really. That's all. And that's it. That's all I had to say. No, but on charts, it's generally a bearish setup. And you're kind of getting that next shoulder forming. We might pop up a little more, but we could very well do something like this. Come up, down. This is the typical head and shoulders pattern. And then, again, I'm not saying we're going to do that. But Kevin earlier asked, this technical analysis work during times like this? And my response was, well, it's not foolproof in any condition, but if you can try to anticipate what may be to come, you could better prepare yourself on, how to position yourself. So even though we may pop up again up here, but overall, don't forget about that 460 level. Okay. That 460 level would break out from this shoulder here and maybe continue. But until then, that could be the top of the shoulder and we get some more downside in this market. All right. So head and shoulders there. When you look at it on a weekly, it's a little easier to see. All right. You got that little shoulder there, a big head, right? Then you kind of got the shoulder forming again. So that is that. Then I went to look at it on a 15-minute chart, right? So, right, with this chart, I'm not really looking to see, are we above this average? What's the volume? I'm just trying to see the big picture here. And it is a 15-minute chart, so it kind of shows you the microstructures or, the micro trends within the daily candles, right? You could very well say we have this wedge forming, or you could say we have another little head and shoulders forming here. All right. We said that's bearish. We saw that before over here, head and shoulder, and we got a big, pullback from there. So bearish on the daily with these setups, bearish on the 15-minute with these setups. Okay, I'm just digging into them, CCJ. Thank you, Nancy. Nancy Yancey. I love that. Nancy Yancey. That's awesome. All right, so I guess to simplify all this, do not feel overly bullish about anything. anything until we're back above 460. As a swing trader, you know, day trading, it's a different story. You're not holding overnight. You don't get caught by these overnight reversals and you're trapped in your positions till market opens. For day traders, you take all this technicals, take it to the minute charts, do what you do for the day. But swing traders, it's choppy. This isn't the best environment to swing trade or invest. So again, nothing is foolproof, but if you could better prepare yourself, it makes it a bit easier. You don't freak out as much. So going over NU, that was called out earlier. All right, so you guys know we really don't get into stocks that are undefined or very new, right? But if you look into this stock, I was just told about this by Brian. This is one of those stocks you got to do your own research on. There's some speculation in it. They're saying Warren Buffett got into this. I'm not going to get into that. What I see on this chart is it wasn't a very bearish channel, popped up, and you're kind of getting this cup and handle formation going. Excuse me, just a cup. All right, usually before the cup and handle, you get this run up. Then you get this little cup. Oh, where's my parabolas? Come on, don't play with me like that. All right, you get this little cup formation. Then typically you'll get a handle formation. Typically, not always. Again, Kevin, going with what I'm saying, I'm trying to anticipate, but I'm not, you know, it's not a one, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say, end all be all type of thing. Yeah, there we go. So, and you see on this as well, that $10 level, maybe it's 10.25. It is an area of resistance and or support in the past. So I would like to see this, if anything, if I were to play this, you know, consolidate a bit and then break out again for the next leg up, because it is very, you know, it's been running strong. So again, this is more very new stock. Even if, you know, I was going to say, even if Jesus invested in it, I would still want to stick to the charts for myself. That sounds horrible. But really, technically, that's what I'm seeing. Currently monitoring GDX. Let's get it. GDX was a favorite too. So again, this is one, definitely don't invest all you got into something like this. It sounds good, but the truth is I don't know what's going on behind doors. All I see is the price action. And it looks like we have some reversal here. So we'll see. Weekly, we had DWAP. This is another one of those. I'm sure it's related to not to the previous stock, but kind of going with that whole digital acquisition stuff. All right. So I'm kind of seeing, I like to take it to the outermost right there. So I could very well bring it up here, but we get 2 points in contact back here. So I'm gonna go with this. Bring that lower trend line. And we're working within this, you know, this flag pattern here. Overall, I guess to make a good entry, we'd want to go, let's say 95. Let's crack 100 on this. In the short term, it looks like we could very well get up to about 95, but there's not too much volume on it. It looks like we will have increased volume by the end of the day. Overall, this seems to be headed upward, kind of very similar to the pattern we're seeing here, right? Relatively flat. So again, I would feel safer getting into something like this once it breaks 100. Until then, it could very well stay within this very short-term wedge, right? I'm telling you, there's patterns within patterns. It's like those Russian dolls. All right, currently GDX. So that's what I'm getting off DWAP. I'm not sure about, you know, the fundamentals, the speculation behind it. I'm just looking at the charts, all right? DWAP, Affirm. Affirm had earnings. Babushka. What is Babushka? That's not a stock. My man said Babushka. Ain't no way that's a real stock. Or is it? It is? All right, I'll look into it. Or are you saying this stock is Babushka? I think that's what you're saying. That this stock, because it's a Trump stock, is Babushka. Cisco. I like Cisco. Cisco. All right, so Cisco and Affirm, they both had earnings this week. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Mayo. Let's go into Affirm. By the way, you guys probably noticed Vlad isn't here today. So if that upsets you, I'm sorry. But I promise I'll read these charts nonetheless. All right, so Affirm. Whoa, that thing broke down, huh? Kind of was running this descending channel here. Broke down out of it, came back into it. I believe earnings was around here, possibly. Pretty sure they had earnings today, right? Well, not today or this week, excuse me. But now it broke out again. And I think what makes it even worse was when it broke down below this area of support around 50, which is actually this candle here. It is getting very bearish. I'm actually gonna have to zoom out to maybe 2 years. So they had earnings last week. Thank you for that. Probably late last week too. Let's go 2 years here. Because really, I don't know where it's going right now based off of this kind of zoomed. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, so we are currently at all-time lows. Does that mean we buy in? No shot. That would be a bad idea. Because as far as I see, this is a very bearish candle, right? We are still, having momentum to the downside, still heading downward here and here. So I know some people just go off it's at all-time lows and it's time to buy, but really, the day before was an all-time low. And the day before that was an all-time low. So we could continue making all-time lows. We want to start seeing some reversal candles, green, big greens. We want to see big greens with volume on them. DNN, DNN, DNN. All right. So, man, this is looking really bad for our firm. Not going to lie to you. I want to say maybe when we get back above 70, and I say that because the further this hangs out down here, these averages will gradually make their way down. So if we could get back up to 70 at some point, we should be above at least 3 of the 4 averages. We still got the 200 running kind of lagging behind, but some maybe 90. Let's go with 90. I'm willing to wait 20 more bucks to possibly get back, $70+ 80+. So Affirm, I wouldn't buy in. I wouldn't play a put either. It is very extended to the downside. And the same way you could get extended to the upside and pull back, you could very well, extend to the downside. I'm kind of hinting towards here, but then rip up. So I would wait for a period of consolidation and then another breakout before taking a position here. Affirm CCJ. That sounds familiar. CCJ. Not sure what sector though. Yep, I wouldn't have guessed it. I was thinking staples for some reason. All right, let's zoom back in. Let's kind of just, again, I'll start from afar. Let me get this chart over here. CCJ. All right, let's put these things in order. So I got, that 2-year view, the daily. I might throw a little weekly work at it. All right. So zoomed out, you can kind of see this trend like through there. Forming has its confluence areas against the upper trend line, lower, swing high. Maybe we are swinging low, but I don't want to just assume that. We are negative here and here as well. All right, now let's zoom in a bit. Oh, CCJ. Yeah, this is CCJ, right? Okay, this is materials. All right. So it popped up, started flagging. Today actually looks like it's breaking down from this flag. Again, this is that upper trend line we saw. And things are very well going negative here. And I can see this continuing even more if that selling pressure increases and we end up with a candle like that. How high can this go? Or low? How low can you go? It's right about that 38. It could very well come down to this 50. Let me bring it down here. So if you're looking to play this to the upside, I don't think it's a good idea yet. I would want to see, get back above this area of accumulation, right in that, right? So that puts us about a resistance around 24. Let's get to 24. Let's look at it on a weekly too, CCJ. So yeah, 24 looks even more clear when I look at it on the weekly. 24 right there. You see, last week it got rejected, and then 2 weeks early in January, it tried to get up above, couldn't hold it. But you see, when it does hold above that 24 level, like it did first week of September, it does move up. Again, it didn't hold, but when it does close above 24, right? So I'm gonna stick to that pattern. That seems to be the behavior for it. So when we close above 24, that could be a good time to play to the upside. CCJ. I would put a price alert on that. So you don't have to babysit it every day. And, what's it doing? What's it doing? Just put a price alert. And when it's there, it'll hit you up, GDX. I believe that's gold miners. Watch out for them gold miners. Hey, if you guys know the relationship between, inflation and gold, you may be interested in this. So long term, you see we're up against that upper trend line. We did call this out in the elite group. I want to say last week. All right, so it's working that wedge. Again, you kind of got that smaller, shorter time period wedge within this larger trend, right? Yes. Appreciate that. There we go. So at this point, you don't want to go chasing it too much. By the way, you see Anthony O'Neill in the comments. He is a member of Trader Foundation. If you have any questions as far as, understanding what's going on, like he said, definitely hit him up. It'll be either him or David Gorbia. Oh, that's a weekly. All right, what was it? GDX. All right. So I like, you can be a bit hesitant jumping in now because now I kind of feel like we're chasing it. I would have liked to enter here, maybe here, but I'm thinking longer term, gold could do very well. All right. And I want to look at a weekly when I say that. All right. So on a weekly, or excuse me, on a daily, it's like, man, maybe I missed the party. You can always wait for a retracement. Maybe it pulls back and then ride that longer term trend on the weekly. Because on the weekly, it's looking like this week is the actual, breakout. Right? I mean, it's holding there. So it's going to have increased volume by the end of the week. We are at the very top, positive here, positive here. I think this is one to watch, honestly. Would I enter today? I don't think that's a good idea just because given the whole, environment with overseas stuff, there's no telling what's going to happen or be announced. So if this is looking good next week, for sure. That's GDX. I will square that one and circle it myself. But again, if you get in this now, do not be surprised if you get it starts selling off, retesting this upper trend line or this area of support here. Okay. It might come up. Oh, wrong line. Sorry about that. It may run up. That's a very aggressive move. It's had these past 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So for it to just hang out here, cool off, catch its breath, it's tough to run a marathon at full speed the whole time. So catch its breath and then see it leg up again. I think that would be the best case there. But I definitely do like that one. Cisco had earnings last night, I believe. CSCO. So it's tough to really get I can look at the chart, but I can't really tell how people are feeling, right? All I can tell is whatever they heard last night, they liked it because it gapped up. But will this move sustain? I'm not sure. Okay, so Let me bring something through here. I'm gonna connect these previous highs. When you look at that, old trend lines still hold true to this day. So I would say, if we can close above 57, maybe play it shortly up to, 58 and a half. But really, if you can close above 59, I think we can have a bigger move here. So close above 59. All this stuff in between, that's shorter term trading, maybe day trades, stuff like that. But again, anything overnight with this current environment I want to say is a bit risky. Let's look at it over here as well. Cisco. All right. Looks like it's trying to do a nice little reversal here. Still, I'm only connecting these two because it's kind of I use those as like little trajectory lines. If you want to go with most points of contact, you could come through with something like that. And you see it is very well coming up out of there. Gonna have good increased volume by the end of the day, or excuse me, by the end of the week. This is a weekly chart and things are starting to turn up. Again, though, we want to get above 59. Previous areas of resistance are still areas of resistance, and kind of doing that now. We were talking about head and shoulders earlier, knees and toes. And if it doesn't break above 59, you'll have that set up again. So that's one shoulder. There's a head. If it doesn't break above 59 again, you can very well, get that bearish move for the typical head and shoulders pattern. All right. So yeah, let's kiss CSCO. You want to kiss it? What you mean by that? Oh, the kiss. My bad. I think I know what you're talking about. Let's look at it on the daily. Yeah, there. I see that. I do see that. But let's say this MACD gets up to 0.0 or at 0, the baseline, or maybe 0.5. How high do you think that really brings us up to? You think it's going to take us back up here? I think that MACD would have to get up here to really make a move all the way up here. So I don't want to jump the gun and just say because it's kissing, it's doing good things. That's just one signal. I'm thinking 59 could be the shorter term target, but until it breaks above 59, I would play up to 59, secure, and then wait for more levels of confirmation. CSCO. Jeff, we did go over DWAC. I'll revisit it briefly. I believe the level we were looking for is over 100. All right, we kind of got this wedge pattern forming. And you see current recent, excuse me, recent rejections around that 98 level. So I just rounded off, let's say get to 100. You may very well come up to this upper trend line, bounce back down. It's just going to keep coiling up until it makes a strong move, either up or down. Which way it goes, we don't know. Tomorrow, you think tomorrow's a big day for DWAC? Victor, I just thought you cursed at me. SCUV. Come on. It's the month of love, man. Don't have to be so mean to me. Where we at? Cisco, DNN. I hope you're still here. Whoever gave out DNN, I hope you're still here. INTU puts. Jordan Jackson. Oh, look at option. So you're saying to play an option that expires tomorrow. That's high risk, high reward. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I'm pretty sure the options aren't cheap either. So if it's like $1,000, if $1,000 is 3% of your capital, shoot your shot. But if it's like 20%, 15, 10, it varies person to person. So again, next day expiration, weekly expirations, very high risk, high reward. And if that's the type of thing you're into, I mean, by all means, you can do that. going out a week. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Go out, even though, you know, you're looking for the move tomorrow, go out maybe even further. Again, it depends on your risk tolerance. I respect it wholeheartedly. Let's see. Again, this is the trend at hand right now for DNN. Seeing these swing low, swing high. So you're seeing swing points within this channel. Currently, momentum seems to be shifting downward. Oh, just this play. Got you. Yeah. So DNN there. Let's kind of zoom in on this. And we should see the same thing. It really is, right? And we're getting somewhat of a bearish. No, that's a pretty bearish candle. It opened up lower than yesterday, and it looks to be closing lower than it did all week. I think that there's a lot to say from that alone. All week and towards the end of last week, right? Momentum shifting downward. It looks like volume will be either equal to or greater than yesterday's volume. So selling pressure is picking up. You see, seeing the downward fade on the histogram there. I can see this in the short term, it's in that. So it could very well fall down more, but I would wait. And seeing that this is, you know, a dollar stock, I'm assuming you're looking to go bullish on it. So I would wait till we're above. I was about to say 140, but really this is an area just congested. Like my nose is right. I'm a little congested right now. Not gonna lie. 160. Let's get back above 160 for starters. That fair? $160 for DNN, and then we can make a play. As of right now, it does look pretty bearish, though. Make sure I didn't miss anything. All right. ENB. ENB. Come on. Energy pipelines. Ooh. See, I'm getting some conflicted stuff. I feel like energy in general is going to do well longer term, but since it's been running so strong, like the past 2-3 months, maybe about, it needs to cool off, you know. So yeah, I'll say January, February, yeah, it's been on a tear. So again, it's tough to run a marathon at full speed the whole time. So I'm thinking maybe we do just cool out here for a little before the next leg up. Got one area there, another area there, and we're currently below that one. So we're between 40.50 and 42 flat. All right. I'm bringing this down to big fibs. What do we got here? So yeah, I'm gonna say about 40.50. It could very well come back down to 39.50, but it's not giving me enough to say it's a good entry right now. All right. And if you look at the candle, it's just doji after doji after doji, a lot of indecision going on. And I don't like making decisions when the chart's showing me indecision, you know? It's not that I hate it. I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough yet. All right. So ran up. You see it approaches upper Bollinger Band. So it may very well revisit 40. Is this EMB, right? Yeah, it may actually visit 40. What I will say though, I like that these averages, you see the trajectories headed up. So even though it does come down, longer term, it's looking like it could continue running upward. I don't like this though. I don't like that. So let's go through those. Where we at? That was ENB, FCUV, and then INTU, FCUV, FCUV. What sector is this? Oh, technology, electronic equipment. What's going on here? Let's bring it over here as well. FCUV. Honestly, just like, oh, all right. So on a weekly, let's start on the weekly. Because on the daily, I feel like we already missed this one. let's get above 15. So if it continue, if next week it just shoots above it, I'm not buying that. Again, whenever you see extreme aggressive moves, before entering, you want to see it cool out. This is a strong move. It made a strong move before too. So you want to be cautious with chasing stuff at this point, right? Kind of had that downward wedge. It could very well fall back into it. So, and that candle, even though it's green, that's not a bullish candle. It's showing price rejection, and it's called an inverted hammer candle, right? And being that it's at the top of a trend makes it even more significant of a possible, that could be your first sign right there that of exhaustion. It may be time to come back down, relax, let these shorter term averages catch up before taking an entry. So I would look for consolidation at this point, and then a breakout, and then you could enter it. So a breakout above 13. Again, 15 is even better. But right now, you should have got in like down here. That would have been the better entry. If you're in it though, I would stay in it. INTU. INTU. That sounds very familiar too. Ooh. It is looking pretty dang bearish, huh? So it was working this channel. Let's say right there. Could very well come down to 4. Well, you're trying to eyeball it. I don't even need to eyeball it. Where are we at? INTU. INTU. Okay, momentum, negative, negative. So it is kind of already building that bearish case. All right, let's go through here. 490, it's very possible. 490 is very possible. Test that lower trend line and maybe swing back high. No, negative. We just flipped, and for yous that love those kisses, right? You got the kiss. Will we get the follow through? I don't know. All right, but that is a very bearish candle. And it's like yesterday, you had that doji, right? A variation of a doji, excuse me. So you had like indecision yesterday. And then today it's like, no, we know what we want to do now. We want to go down. So that's a very strong candle. I would like to see, again, as always, whenever you see selling, to really make a strong case, it's better to see an increase in volume with selling. But I like the idea. If it closed like that with some more volume, it could definitely make a good bearish play. Again, it might pop up in the shorter term, but it depends what you're looking for. Overnight, it might not happen. In time, you could definitely see that happening. Because last time it was at this level, one more thing to point out, was late January, kind of when the market was there too, back here. And it never really closed below this 510 level, but now it's like clearly there. So if it can actually finish there, again, another signal to what may be to come, to try to anticipate. All right. INTU. Coach, what's up, man? How you doing? What you got for us today? You usually got some stocks for us. While we're here, I kind of went through everything you guys gave. If you have any more, I just want to take a look at this map and kind of point out some things. A lot of red. And the only sectors that are green are consumer defensive, oil and gas, utilities. And then, of course, you got your basic materials being gold, all right? It's showing a big rotation. Just overall, people are getting more defensive. They're going more risk off. And it could be for multiple reasons, whether it's March, they'll start their interest rates. You could say it's because of the pending stuff overseas. a lot of things you can speculate, but the fact is people are indeed getting more defensive, right? Just to point out, all year and or previous year, it was always tech and pretty much tech and financials that were backpacking the market. And, you know, these sectors won't be able to hold up the market like the others. Oh, we got PAA and BA. PAA, BA. BA is in aerospace. Okay. So what we got? BA is going to pop huge when Dow reverses. Yeah, that is part of the industrial sector. I can believe that for sure. It's just a matter of when will it reverse, you know? That's what we gotta find out. Let's go over BA. Now I want to zoom out because BA has been running this pattern for a long time, actually. Maybe 2 years here. Excuse me. I already have a 2-year chart up. BA. I'm just going. I'm telling you, it's always worth it putting in a little more extra time to see, you know, the big picture. So it's been running this channel for a while, as you can see. And if you look, you know, it looks like we got a little possible double top in the very short term. So it can come back down to 180. Things are starting to go south here. Momentum seems to be decreasing there as well. Bring it into the daily. Excuse me, not the daily, but, you know, the 10-month view. So that 200 is playing it strong right now. And again, 1, 2, right? 1, 2. I know it's a momentum indicator, but what happened on these, you know, 1, 2, what happened here? That's what I want to see. 1, 2, 1, 2. What happened after these? 1, 2 drop, 1, 2 drop, 1, 2. I don't want to jump the gun, but you know, if this thing is going to behave the same, we might have another put opportunity here. How about this? This could be a short-term play. If we close below 215 today, right? With increased selling, you know, more volume, strong candle like that. Kind of picking at this candle as well. Kevin, I'm glad you're back, man. So this candle alone seems, I would say, is a bearish engulfing, right? And then it's also knocking out the open of 2 days ago at the moment. And if it can close below 215 with some more volume, we might get a follow through of this momentum to the downside. And I would say, you know, conservatively, maybe play it to 212. And I know for people that don't play options, it's like, what's $3, man? I'm like, with options, $3 is great. You know, that could be $150 right there. I'm glad you love this, man. Is this your first time in here, Jeff? When the fake news is realized, Ukrainian West, I'm gonna just say UK. All right. When UK West is a distraction for what's going on with Hillary. All right, I got you. No, I could dig that stuff, man. Really. I don't want too many eyes watching us. We don't want this to get shut down. We need this place. But yeah, I can see a follow through to the downside here. Personally, I'm interested in this one, really. Again, maybe conservatively, maybe play it to 212, 210. I will bring up Fibonacci to kind of dig at it some more, though. Get a better idea. So even up here, you know, you could very well play this to 210, really. But if you buy multiple contracts, maybe do sell one at 212, sell the next at 210. And don't get caught up thinking like, man, you know, what if it keeps going? Just wait for that next confirmation. And that would be, you know, closing below 207. Because now you're back below all the averages, and it makes an even stronger case that we continue that pattern that we're seeing over here, right? Right back down. Just stick to the plan or spread them. Brian, you could definitely spread them. All right, so crowd puts a month out. Let's check out crowd. After we check out PAA, CRWD. Are there any new people in here right now? I'm curious. I know a lot of people don't get my notification on this page because I'm not friends with a lot of people in here. Not that I don't like you, it's just there's a lot of people. There's over 10,000 people. I'm curious. I feel like Jeff, oh yeah, you did say yep. All right, welcome. Usually Jeff, Vlad is here with us and he's kind of running the show. I kind of do this more in the elite group. That's more of an exclusive group we have. Teach you all the technical stuff. AU, if you're interested in that, you can just hit me up or hit up Anthony O'Neill. He's in this thread as well. So we got AU monitoring. Okay, AU is also, oh yeah, we got AU. I'm glad you brought up AU. Sharon, how are you? Sharon, you're an elite member, aren't you? We haven't got on a session yet. What's up? What's up? All right, so that was BA. I like it for a little put nasty. PAA. Plains All-American Pipeline Energy. Okay. Was this from you, Anil? Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, he's a good dude, really. So I kind of see, again, I'm just starting far back. We'll work our way in. It's kind of the process I go through on a regular. So we'll see. Got this swing high. It may very well swing low. What I do see though is maybe this does pop up. And again, Kevin, if you're still here, we might not know what's going to happen, but we can anticipate. So if it doesn't close above 11.5 on this, possible pop back up, it would kind of finish off that microstructure of a regular Head and Shoulders. And it could very well come back down to this lower trend line. All right. Right now it's closing below. Well, I shouldn't say it is closing because the day's not over. Let me go back into here. This is PAA. My guy, Farhan, what's up, man? Hope all is well with you and the fam. So this looks to be closing below the 200 SMA. If it goes below the 50, that's it gets darker, all right? Very negative momentum overall. Volume, I don't know if it'll be there by the end of the day, but that's why we got to wait to the end of the day. If you're swing trading, buying today, selling another day, you should be waiting till the end of the day to get the full story. It's like going to court as a lawyer with, half the evidence needed to get the job done. Awesome. That's good to hear, man. Glad you tuned in. Put on fun. All right. But yeah, closing below, what is that, 10.2 could very make this a bearish play even more so. I will bring it up to PAA, the weekly. And again, it's really kind of just working this nice, dare I say, a channel through there. Roughly, work with me here. Roughly, it's within that channel there. Very bearish candle, still bearish. So yeah. And then on the weekly, the momentum is still headed negative. So I can see this revisiting. If you're looking to play this bullish, I would say wait till, I was going to say 12.5, which is right here. Excuse me for the long arrow, but you still have that slightly descending 200 SMA. But being that it's a weekly, it'll take longer to manifest. So let's go back to the daily. I said 12, right? 12.5. 12.5 is up here. Whew. Yeah, it could be worth waiting. Or you could wait till we're back above 11.4, 11.5. All right. But yeah, overall, I'm not seeing it being bullish at the moment. All right. CRWD. Where we at? Tone Swazo. What's up, man? CRWD, right? CRWD. I'm gonna bring it up on all three again. Start from the outside, make our way in. Bring it up on all three charts. Telling you, I like to dig at these. Ooh. I know you said a month out, but Jordan, it's looking pretty good, my man. Bring it through there. Got this. I want to say in time, it'll make a, descending wedge kind of on its way, but this right here, strong candle to the downside. How's the volume? Looks like we're on track to have increased volume. Very negative. Overall, it's making its way up, but you see the momentum slowing down there. So maybe it comes back down to this 160 level before making like a double top, or excuse me, a double bottom. Let's zoom in here. Let's zoom in here. Sorry about that. It's just, I'm so used to, like, I've been doing it so much, I kind of see what I'm talking about. But I got to remember, there's some people that aren't familiar with all this, all right? So there goes one bottom there. We can very well, again, it's looking bearish candle, rejected at the 50. Volume seems like it's going to be increased. So this may very well come back down to this 155 level. At that point, I would secure and then get prepared. Again, I don't know if it's going to happen, but get prepared for potential double bottom, because it could reverse on you from there. All right. And then it goes back up. At this point, though, on the bullish case, let's get back above 190. And then we could talk about it some more in that manner. I'm well, man. Doing very well. Thank you. Keep an eye on DWAG, guys. It's trending higher as the NASDAQ tanks. Watch out, Jeff. He's loving that DWAG. You're going to make me do something cheap up in there. Maybe get me a debit spread or something. FTV puts. I wrote put. I don't know why, but I meant to write that for crowd, I think. Oh, no, it was fun. Sorry, puts on fun. When I read it out loud, though, I wrote puts instead. That's CRWD. I do like that one, honestly, for downside play. I like BA for a potential downside. I like GDX for a potential bullish. What else do we like? AU there. AYO. Anybody know what song that's from? It starts like that. AYO. Starts with an L. His initials would be LJ. How about that? Look at AU. This is gold. I'm telling you, gold's doing some good things overall. Just bringing it out. You see it kind of broke out from there earlier this week. One thing I'm worried about with this one right now is, it got rejected up here before, but let's compare, let's not just give up there. Let's compare the context of everything, right? What was different then from now? Then we were headed downward. We were headed downward. We were headed downward, right? Now we're headed upward. And we're on track to have increased volume today too. So again, overall, long-term, I like AU. I like gold in general right now. Let's go to AU weekly, sorry. And I only say that from last week. Again, in the elite group, we were talking about gold, I believe it was on the 7th, all right? It is now the 17th, 10 days later. And if you look at a lot of these gold stocks, 10 days ago, they were much lower. On options, you would have been slapping them. More specifically, we spoke about GLD 10 days ago, back here. That's a big move it's made. So if you're not an elite member, what we're doing here is just, the tip of the iceberg, honestly. We're trying to find this stuff before it happens. We don't like chasing. But again, significant move on a weekly chart. Everything's going positive. We already have increased volume this week. It's just, again, on a daily, when you see these moves happen, being that it's so aggressive, I can't help but expect a pullback, very aggressive move, coming back down to retest some area of previous resistance as support. That would be a healthy thing to do before we make that next leg up. All right. So Brian, to answer your question, I guess I would put it this way. I do want to see it close above 22.5, but if it does that tomorrow, I don't feel good about that. I want to see it get its breath, consolidate again before breaking out. So I would like to see it consolidate right here within this range and then break out above 22.5. If it just keeps breaking out, you're really chasing it. And I don't like chasing. I'm not in shape anymore as I used to be, like lung wise. I'm still pretty thin, but I don't got the lung capacity that I used to. Hey, you. Let's check out Fun. Hello. Did they have earnings recently, Brian? Because I remember maybe it was like 3 lives ago, you had mentioned puts on Fun, or that you already in them. And it looks like it had earnings 2 days ago. And I only say that because you don't know. I'll find out right now. Sound like a deal? Deal. Fun. All right. I'm a fun guy. Kawaii voice. February 16th, before market open. Yeah. So 2 days ago, right? And whenever, let's just use this as whenever you see a gap like this, big gap, and then just out of nowhere spike in volume, no matter what stock it is, I'm telling you, if you don't see a gradual increase, you see a gradual and then a big pop like that, it's like there's some type of catalyst in the headlines about it, or it's earnings. And that's what we have here. We got that. But I kind of do like this one for a put, honestly. We got that inverted hammer candle. While the volume may not be increased compared to yesterday, look what this stock works with on average, less than 1 million, really. So we're already having more than, for this stock, this current volume's a lot. And things are going steep here. I like it. I like it, Brian. I like the put. Yesterday, it opened below that average, came back up to test it, and then closed. Today, it opened up lower, came back to test it again, got rejected. So, do you keep chasing stuff when they keep rejecting you? Some, okay, that was a bad question because some people don't get no. No is no. You leave it at that. But there's some people out there that just, they're determined. I don't think Fun's as determined right now because it looks weaker than yesterday. It's looking a bit defeated. Inverted hammer, a lot of volume going down. Conservatively, maybe play it to 55 or scale out at 55 and then hold on for, a bit longer, maybe play it down to 52. Let's see. Oh, no, 55, 53, 51. Each of those could be your exits on that. Again, there's different things that could go into, do I sell now? How long on put? You already know. At least I wouldn't play it short. Again, the shorter the contract, the more reactive it is to price movement day to day. And if this doesn't go your way right away, you might easily see negative 40% if it pops back up here. Seriously. So if you want to sleep better at night, go with something further dated, I would say. If you don't care about sleep, you roll them dice. That's not really my thing. FTV puts 60-day. That sounds beautiful, honestly. I like 60. FTV, FTUV. Okay, no. All right, I gotta zoom out here. FTV. Ooh, like a big rounded top kind of thing going on here, right? But throughout all of this, you know, even when it was going up, you got your swing points up and down all throughout. You're going to have those on the way down too. All right. Down, boop. It's kind of, I should save this and we revisit this in a couple months, huh? Just speculation, but it is closing. It looks right now. Let's see some levels of support back here. All right. So it's closing below that one. There's another area right around there. Could go to 62. FTV over here. See, it doesn't show us enough to the downside. So volume is increased. Did they have earnings today? I got to check that. Let me check. FTV. We don't watch that. FTVV. FTV, please. Thank you. Earnings, February 3rd. Okay, so they just stink. That's all it is. There's no excuse for this one, but except that they stink. So closing below 64. Looking at these charts, you know, let's close below there. Close below like 63.8. Yeah, 63.8. How about that? And let's look at this weekly. Again, because if it doesn't happen tomorrow, maybe it'll happen next week. That's why I take it to the weekly. Ooh, it's getting very dark. Very dark. Death cross inbound. 13 below the 50. 20 is on its way. Looking to close below. So it closed below 2 weeks ago, but then tried to make a case like, nah, I'm good. But it was a pump fake. Things are still negative here. This could very well make a good play. Again, maybe the 62. It may not seem like a lot to people that aren't aware of options, but a $2 move is profitable, very profitable. All right. This FTV. And speaking of death crosses on the weekly, right? You guys see this? Let me know. Death cross, 13 going under the 20. Or excuse me, under the 50. 13 under the 50, right? I don't want to scare anybody, really. I don't want to scare y'all, but check out the SPY on a weekly. Ooh, it's getting bearish. Let me bring up my weekly chart here. Looking at, all right, so just looking at this, I don't mean to go back to the beginning of, you know, usually what we do at the beginning, but I didn't point it out. All right. So throughout all this time, this very strong pumped market, dare I say. All right. Look at the 13 and the 20-day moving averages, right? They never really start what, you know, you may hear as kissing. I call them death cross or golden cross. Right here's a golden cross, shorter term going above the longer term. Another golden cross there. And whenever you have a shorter term average crossing below a longer term, it's considered a death cross. Dun, dun, dun. Again, I'm not saying anything. I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing. All right. So we didn't see anything come this close throughout this whole period of time. Am I lying? Let me know if I'm lying. You could say, yeah, that was close, but it wasn't as close as this. Like, look at that. They're doing like the, you know, playing the world's smallest violin right there. That's what they're doing. We haven't seen this in a long time, except for dun, dun, dun. No. I don't know, but you know, there's a lot to be said with that. Again, you got a death cross forming with a bearish wedge as well. It's just stacking up for a bearish case. So what time we got? We got 3. We went through all the plays. What I will say, when we get a market kiss of death, one could say, right, the kiss of death. Now, what I will say though, looking at the SPY on a daily, things we want to look for moving forward. Okay, like to have fun and stuff, but let's try to again, Kevin, if you're still here, and even if you're not, I think this will benefit everybody. No, technical analysis, it helps. It definitely helps to try to anticipate. When things are going on and you don't know technical analysis, you don't really know what to look for. Is this the bottom? I don't know. Should I be buying in now? I don't know. Get sharp with this stuff. You can start preparing. All right. So let's just briefly go over this situation. How did we know this was the possible bottom? All right. And I'm going to shed light on some divergence, right? We made lower lows here, but the RSI was making higher lows, okay? That's a positive divergence. Price action is going lower, RSI is kicking up, and we see what happened. So guess what? Next time we're down in this area, I want to see the same stuff. I'm just trying to get prepared, that's all. So if we're going to come down here, or even if we come down to 425 lower, so this could be going flat or lower. I want to see the same action back in, September with the RSI. I want to see this making higher lows, all right? If we start making lower lows as the price action is making lower lows, it's not the bottom. And don't get caught up in any Facebook group that's saying, this is the bottom, buy the dip. Those buy the dip days, I don't think they're going to be happening as often, depending, if you're short term versus long term, man, we could go about it on and on, but this isn't the group for it right now. So that's all I'm gonna say. Next time we come down to this level down here, let's look for some positive divergence, and maybe we could get a repeat of last time. All right. So that's what we're preparing for. All right. It's not looking bullish right now. We might have some follow through to the downside here, but we know what to look for now. Okay. Next time we're down here around 430, 420, we're going to be looking for higher lows on the RSI or over here. Okay. So bring up the chart, whatever charting platform you use. If you don't use one, just remember that. Positive divergence. That's what we're looking for. All right. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Today's Thursday, the 17th. We will be back on the 17th. Again, anything that we mentioned, again, it is a choppy market, not the ideal situation for a swing trader. This is really a day trader, scalper environment. So whatever you do, I wouldn't go too heavy into any position unless you're, willing and understanding that this is something risky. And there goes DWAC. There goes DWAC. Timeout. Bring it back. Don't make me go chasing. Nah. Let's see DWAC. Man, Jeff was calling it out. Well, it's doing good stuff. I'm still sticking to 100, all right? I'm still sticking to 100, and the only reason why is, yes, I'm going to go into this like, you know what? I may miss out on $15, but if I miss out on 15 and it breaks out above 100, I'm willing to make that $75 gain. And I just keep it simple like that. I don't want to chase it. That's all. And maybe I might miss out on some money. That's for sure. But it's tough to catch every dollar of a trend. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's rare. So if you can make out, wait for 100 and make 10, 20, 70, I think it was worth waiting for $15 to happen, 99. It's at 99. Timeout. Update, please. Timeout. You just told me it was at 99. I don't see it at 99. Are you saying that would be the confirmation for you? No, but seriously, guys, as always, I'll see you all next week. If you're a swing trader, short-term stuff, maybe not hold anything over this weekend. It could get real choppy. All right. And who knows? You don't want to be trapped in your position while they're releasing all this, what they call FUD. All right. So whatever you do, go into every trade expecting, or at least accepting and understanding the risk. You might lose some, or you might be down the first couple of days, but if you stick to the charting and, stick to the game plan, you'll feel safer. You'll sleep better at night. All right. So everyone have a good weekend. Again, thank you. And I will see you next Tuesday, y'all. Take care.